Good morning, Fort Worth. It is the 26th day of May. You got Andrew here and Amanda Victoria. Good morning, Amanda.
How's it going?
I'm here. I made it. It's Monday. It's Memorial Day, the day that we remember our fallen soldiers, those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And hey, if you're a veteran and you're alive and somebody says, hey, thank you for your service on Memorial Day, don't be that guy that's like, hey, class is in. Now I get to educate somebody. Just nod and say thank you. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Something that happens. That's not what this holiday's for. Okay, I'm just trying to be polite. All right, this day, getting ahead of myself. Let's get into the weather, folks. If this is your first time with us, the Fort Worth Roots Morning Show is a snapshot of what's going on, starting in Fort Worth and kind of expanding outward. Some news stories, some weather, National Day of, this day in history, and we close it out with a good news story for the day. Your weather is the first segment, and where did it go? There it is. We do have some rain in the forecast today, so let's do the hourly, and then we'll get into the 10-day. Go away, ad. All right. Where's the rain? Looks like no more rain this morning. We got a 20% chance at 2, and then this evening around 9 o'clock, well, let's see, 8 o'clock, scattered thunderstorms starting at 8 p.m., and then looks like we'll be done with that by 9. Keep an eye on that because I'm sure it will change. And let's look forward at the rest of the week. Tuesday, 82 for a high, 67 for a low. No chance of rain, really. Wednesday, 82 for a high, 67 for a low. Thursday, 80 for a high, 65 for a low. Friday's 80 and 64 for a low. Saturday, 86 and 67 for a low. Sunday is 90 and 67 for a low. Just some little sporadic chances for rain throughout the week. Thursday has a 49% chance of scattered thunderstorms. So those are much nicer temperatures than this past week, man. Did you do anything outside?
I was melting. Yeah, actually, I did 2 pool parties in a row, Saturday and Sunday. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was good. The 90 degree was actually good for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. But did you stay hydrated? I was sweating so much this weekend, I thought I was going to die.
I was not hydrated at all. Liquid IV, you know.
Yeah, that'll help. Got to get those electrolytes. Brondo, it's what plants crave. Let's see, National Day of, it is Still Save Your Tooth Month. British Tomato Fortnight, don't know what that is. Epilepsy Awareness Week. National Barbecue Week. Water Saving Week. Let's see if there's anything really worth mentioning here. There's Jerusalem Day, Memorial Day, of course. Let's click on that one. Let's just see how they read it. Memorial Day on May 26 conjures memories of hamburgers, hot dogs, swimming pools, boating, and summertime for many Americans. But the last Monday in May serves, most importantly, as a time to honor those who died while fighting in the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a holiday steeped in American history and tradition. The day actually began as Decoration Day following the Civil War, when mourners placed flowers on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers. Over time, Memorial Day has also come to signify the unofficial start of summer. This year, National Today's Memorial Day content is brought to you by Boat Setter. Okay, great. We read somebody else's ad. Okay, moving on. This day in history, 1897, Dracula was published. Tale of a toothy Transylvanian arrives at booksellers. Irish author Bram Stoker's novel of Gothic horror, Dracula, is published in London. Readers are hooked by the bloodthirsty tale, and the story makes an ideal yarn for invasion literature fans. But the Count's allure will really take flight decades later with the advent of cinema. 1951, British, what did it say? Where'd we go? Birth of a Pioneer. Trailblazing astronaut Sally Ride is born. Sally Kristen Ride is born in L.A., where she'll become a nationally ranked tennis player by her junior year of high school. Her focus, however, will shift to science and astronomy. She will join NASA in 1978, and in 1983, she will become the first American woman in space. This day, 1951. All right, 2020. This is the George Floyd Sparks Protest Day. Protests and riots erupt in Minneapolis the day after George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, died when a white police officer knelt on his neck for almost 9 minutes. Floyd's killing will motivate millions of people across the country and around the world to protest police brutality and demand reform. The officer who knelt on Floyd's neck will be convicted of murder in April 2021. That was this day in 2020. All right. We didn't have a lot of Fort Worth news today, so we got into Texas news. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Ban on THC products in Texas heads to Governor Abbott's desk after Senate agrees to House changes. So this isn't totally done yet, but it looks like it'll need a veto from Abbott if it's not going to go through. A bill that would ban all products containing THC is headed to Governor Greg Abbott's desk after the Senate late Sunday approved the House version of the bill advanced by the lower chamber last week. If the measure avoids Abbott's veto pen, Texas' $8 billion hemp industry and its estimated 50,000 jobs would be dissolved in September, when the ban would take effect. Retailers and recreational users would be allowed to sell and consume only the non-intoxicating, non-psychoactive cannabinoids known as TBD and CBG. The about face comes 6 years after the legislature inadvertently touched off a massive boom in hemp-based products when lawmakers intending to boost Texas agriculture authorized the selling of consumable hemp. Though that 2019 law does not allow products to contain more than trace amounts of Delta-9 THC, it did not establish the same threshold for other hemp derivatives. Critics say the hemp industry has exploited that loophole to the tune of more than 8,000 retailers now selling THC-laced edibles, drinks, vapes, and flower buds. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who oversees the Senate, has spearheaded the push to eradicate the industry since he named it one of his top priorities nearly 6 months ago. So, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, sounds like he's the guy really pushing this. Okay, let's see. Anything? Trying to see if that's the end of the story. You can read on. This was by TexasTribune.org. Story by Jasper Schrerer. So we'll have to keep our ears peeled for that one. Here's one that's really special to me. Did you happen to see the episode we did with Media for Texas?
Mm-mm.
We sat down with some folks in Austin from a group called Media for Texas, and I was really excited to see this news article because one of the people we interviewed from that group is quoted in here. All right, so the article is bill to pump up to $500 million into Texas films okayed in the House. And they were really looking forward to this. So I guess there's one more stop that it has to make on the voting table before it can get approved. But this is looking very promising. The story is on MSN.com. The story is by Steven Simpson. All right, the Texas Tribune stand, blah, blah, blah. The Texas House on Sunday passed a bill increasing the amount of money to the state spends to attract film and television productions. Senate Bill 22, filed by House Republican Senate Joanne Huffman, or whatever, received preliminary approval from the Texas House 105 to 34. The bill allows the comptroller to deposit $500 million into a new Texas moving image industry incentive fund every 2 years until 2035. Eligible expenses including workers' wages, meals purchased from local restaurants, and airfare on Texas-based airlines. The actual dollar amount seems subject to change, as Republican Todd Hunter from Corpus Christi, the bill's sponsor, suggested it might drop to $300 million based on discussions in committee hearings. It could go up to $500 million as they haven't finalized the budget, but the $300 million is what they're discussing. Hunter said, SB 22 does not guarantee the film incentive fund $500 million, which acts as a ceiling. You're already voted for the budget. This money was placed in the budget. That's not this bill. Whatever. Anyway, here's our friend Chase Musselwhite, and you can catch her talking on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. I think it is episode 389. Just look for the Media for Texas episode. Chase Musselwhite, co-founder of Media for Texas, a nonprofit organization dedicated to boosting the state's film and media industry, said on Tuesday she had heard discussions about decreasing the $500 million amount. Still, as long as it's above $200 million, she said, her organization is content. So, sounds like everybody's happy so far. Let's see. I know there was a quote here from her. Let's see if I can find it real quick. This bill makes us competitive with our neighbors so that we wouldn't be losing our stories to New Mexico, Louisiana, and Georgia, but it wouldn't make us competitive enough to open the floodgates, said Musselwhite. About 6 or 7 other states still offer more or have stronger incentives, and I think that works perfectly for Texas. We're not trying to have everybody come here and join the rat race to get more incentives. We just want to be baseline competitive. And that's what they were talking about inside the episode that we did, is like we just want filmmakers to consider Texas, because right now it's not even in the discussion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Whenever somebody's going to put a film together, they have to go and they have to get funding for it. So they approach investors. And so whenever they approach investors and they say, hey, we want to do it in Texas, the first thing the investor is going to ask is like, how does that make financial sense for us? And right now it doesn't. So we're trying to get Texas movies back to Texas, because like they might do a scene for, say, the Alamo. They'll shoot it in New Mexico.
Wow.
They won't do it in Texas because we don't offer any incentives. So that's what they're trying to change. But you guys can get the full story on that episode we did with Media for Texas. Okay. Is that all our news stories? I thought I had one more. Oh, yeah. Buddy Calzada has been on the Fort Worth Roots podcast also. He is the public information officer, or rather one of them. They've got multiple. And he is the one that you'll see on TV talking about stuff when it happens. We have a story here, and this is an opportunity for us to play something from Buddy Calzada. One parent stabs another outside Fort Worth Elementary School. This was posted 3 days ago, so Friday. We don't do an episode Friday.
Can tell you is that there was a 5th grade graduation celebration that was taking place outside or behind the school, which is directly behind me here. There's 2 parents that are involved in this. They're both adults. We do believe that these individuals have had a prior verbal argument with each other, kind of disturbances with each other in the past. They started to get into a verbal altercation here behind the school. As soon as that started to take place, the staff here is very well trained. I can tell you that we do have a school SRO, or a school resource officer, here as well too, that's assigned to this school. The staff started pushing the kids back and was literally getting in front of the kids while the verbal altercation was taking place. They started pushing kids back and getting them inside the school and getting them away from the altercation. At that point in time, the altercation stopped. The 2 individuals met each other right over here, which is where that police Tahoe is. And at that point in time, what looked like was about to begin a fight happening. One of the adult males pulled out a knife and started stabbing the other individual multiple times in the upper part of his body. I can tell you that victim has been transported to a local hospital. We don't believe it is life-threatening injuries, but I can tell you that the injuries are severe.
All right, I know, right? That's Buddy Calzada, and looked good there, Bud. He's always they picked the right guy for the job. He's good in front of a camera. Okay, stop stabbing people when you're going to pick up your kids at school.
What a nightmare for those 5th graders.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, hopefully they didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible. It looked like from the video, it looked like the altercation happened
away from the kids.
So hopefully nobody saw anything.
But it's graduation day. Just leave that at home.
Because people going to be people. All right, time for a good news story. Infant with incurable disease is first to successfully receive personalized gene therapy treatment. We're getting better with the sciences. In a historic medical breakthrough, a child diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder has been successfully treated with a customized CRISPR gene editing therapy. By the way, you can buy stock in that company. Gene editing therapy by a team at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and Penn Medicine. The infant, KJ, was born with a rare metabolic disease known as severe carbamoyl phosphate synthetase deficiency, or
you did that
for geniuses like me, CPS1. After spending the first several months of his life in the hospital on a very restrictive diet, KJ received the first dose of his unique therapy in February when he was around 6 months old. The treatment was safely administered, and he is now growing and thriving. That's excellent. You guys can read on. That is Good News Network. Story is by Good News Network. I hate it when they do that. It's supposed to have somebody's name there. All right. Amanda, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Did you survive all this rain we had in the AM?
Yeah, I didn't even notice it, actually. So, yeah.
It was still raining on my way in. We're recording today at Hoppin', a cool little place, self-serve tap wall. You guys need to come in here before the 31st because they have a really excellent deal, 20% off all their merch. And if you buy the merch, you get 20% off your tab. And the rumors have been swirling out there, and it's not my place to tell you that the rumors are true or not. I let it slip last week, but the rumors are that this place will be closing on the 31st, going out of business. Sad. It is sad. So anyway, if you haven't been to Hoppin', you don't have a lot of time to get here. That's what the rumor is anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess that's as much as we can say on that. Okay. So Amanda came here to tell us about her first ever album release.
Yes. So I've released a handful, I would say even more than a handful of singles. I'm a singer-songwriter based out of Fort Worth, born and raised here. I've been doing music for about the past 2.5 years. Is when I quit my job. So that's kind of whenever I measure that time. But yeah, this will be the first time that I ever actually drop a first full-length project, and I've actually never dropped an EP either, which it was supposed to be an EP, but then we just kept on adding more and more tracks, and we were like, oh, this is a full-length album, which makes sense.
Did you do all the work at one studio?
No, multiple producers, lots of incredible ones here. There's Zane Luce, who does music all over the place. He's part of the Heads and Bodies. I don't know if you know them, but
I don't.
Dude, they're so good.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Says, he's done work with Avery Maisie now.
Yeah, that's right. I still call her Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Edgar, he goes by Eggs. He's done some stuff with Crying in the Car, and and then one other producer called Weber Alexander. He lives in Oregon, and we've just always worked remote. But
awesome.
Yeah, lots of different eras for me, and songs written from I don't want to say it, but 9 years ago up until this past year. So, but they all kind of represent a specific theme. And I'm excited because I was saying this a little bit earlier, but I do have a lot of singles out, and when you kind of listen to a single, it's like you're getting just a bite of something. But when you kind of are able to dive into the full project, and the way that I ordered it was really intentional, and all of that, it's just you kind of get the full meal. There's something bigger going on, so.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this earlier. Whenever I was going through high school, we would look forward to these album releases, these CDs that would come out, because it was back then in the early 2000s. They were putting CDs together intentionally, like you were describing with yours, where you would listen to it from beginning to end, and it came with album art and all this cool stuff. But it sounds like the way you're talking about it, with all the intention behind it, you've put a lot of thought into the way you structured your album.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll just kind of drop this a little bit. I'm the kind of theme of it. It's called Tomorrow, and one of the songs on it is also called Tomorrow. It's the title album, and the theme around it. I have a lot of really sad songs, sad breakup songs. When I go through a breakup, I go all the way through it. You know what I mean?
Time to make a new track.
Exactly. And I've played songs for people that and literally have seen people in tears at shows and stuff. And so, it can get pretty rough, and I just like to be totally honest with those emotions. But the song Tomorrow kind of brings it full circle, and it's just what? No matter what you've been through, no matter how hard it gets in the hard times, there's always this opportunity to wake up tomorrow. Not always, but if we get that chance, and if we have a future, we have hope, basically, is what it.
If you get another day, keep moving.
Yeah. What a blessing, what an opportunity. So
I was just putting this together while you were talking. So Amanda Victoria, you can find our full episode that we did 2 years ago with Rita Alfaro, excuse me. And that was a great episode. We did a deep dive into Amanda Victoria. But 2 years ago. Lots
Yeah.
changed, right?
Jeez, yeah.
But the thing I put together is, and I think we talked about this during that episode, but you had just quit your job when we did that recording.
It was pretty close to that
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So
And you've been making it work.
yes, I
That's
feel so
crazy.
blessed, and that is such like a testament to Fort Worth. If it wasn't for Fort Worth, if it wasn't for things like Amplify 817 or Here Fort Worth,
Trend Media.
Trend Media, Blake has been helping me. He's been such a great partner this whole time, and I could not have done it without these things that Fort Worth specifically has to promote their artists and to support art. I just feel so lucky to be able to be an artist here. I did a show at Sundance Square.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Who put that on?
It's just they do music all the time. Sundance
Right.
Square is one of my favorite spots ever. So yeah, I was just on their, part of their music series.
That's great.
And I was, singing there. I remember when it was a parking lot, when that area was a parking lot. And
I miss parking downtown when it was free.
well, it still is on after like 5 on the weekends.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For sure.
I know there's one parking garage you can go to after a certain time, and it's free.
Yeah, it's the one right next
Closest
to the
Sundance
AMC
or Bass Hall
or the
whatever.
Palace. Yeah, the AMC Palace.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
So you
I
can
go to
still
that
get away
one.
with it.
The key to that one is you go in, into the lot, but then you park as close to the elevator as you can.
Yes.
So you just go up to like the 4th or 5th floor,
Right.
and then if you park as close to the elevator as you can, then you don't have to walk at all. So
Pro tips, folks.
if anyone, I like love Fort Worth. I have like all my things about the city. Like I'm so thankful to
Take a
live
lot of
here.
pride in the fact that you're a Fort Worthian.
I do.
That's awesome. What are you on Instagram? Where can people find more pro tips on Fort Worth and where to park?
Amanda Victoria Sound.
Yes, on
And
Instagram.
that's on Instagram. That's all of my anywhere online. I'm going to be Amanda Victoria Sound. And so if you want to pre-save the album, just go to my Instagram and hit the link
Link in bio.
in my bio. Yep.
So I don't know if you know this, and this is for you and all of your musician friends out there at Trend. We do a album release party for musicians every Tuesday out at McFly's Pub. So if
Okay.
you want to schedule a date, what we do is we have a podcast episode, and then you get to perform. We've got the stage from 5 to 7. So if we do a 45-minute recording on the podcast, then you have the remaining time to perform. And nobody's going to twist your arm. You don't have to play like the entire album. But if you want to get up there and play a few songs, you can.
Sweet. Okay.
But
Yeah.
the idea is to like get people together, do an album release, have some fun, celebrate that artist, and get some people together. Do some. I call it not networking, because I want to pull all of our creators into one room so everybody can kind of get collaborative, share ideas, meet each other, trade Instagram tags, and all that good
I've
stuff.
seen you posting about it, and I've been meaning to make it out there. I didn't realize that it was also like an album release kind of.
Oh yeah, so that's what it's primarily supposed to be. That's what we started it as, and just trying to get more people involved. We're doing more than just album releases. So we're doing book releases now, or having out heads of large Fort Worth companies come out and just talk about what their business does, and just any excuse to get people together. But my primary focus is to get musicians out there. So if you, as a musician, don't hit me up and take those spots, I'm going to end up putting like business owners and stuff in there. But it is supposed to be for album release parties and things like that. So yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. That's all the time we've got for today. Do you have anything else you want to throw at them before we get out of here?
Yeah, I would say just go hit that link in the bio. You have no idea. Like it helps so much.
Okay.
Especially for small little artists like me.
You'll definitely be getting one this morning from Fort Worth Roots.
Thank you.
All right, folks, as you move through outer space today on the back of a giant sea tortoise, we hope that you'll choose love and gratitude every chance you get. Till tomorrow, folks. Good day.
so fine. Eyes yours, you're mine. You feel me, you thrill me. Never had some love to heal me. You're oh so wonderful. I'll never let go. 'Cause dreams do come true. And here comes my great day.